What up, what up, what up?
Are we dialed? Tonight we're listening to Deafheaven. We're checking out Deafheaven once again. This is our second review of the band. All right, they just dropped their record "Lonely People with Power." If you know me and you saw my Sunbather video, you know that I did enjoy that band, although rather intense on the eaters. All right, the screamo is something I'm still kind of getting into, but I did find it enjoyable. All right, the black gaze aspects of it was my favorite parts of that record. I'm looking forward to those aspects on here too. April has been a crazy month for albums. I've seen a lot of records in the past 2-3 weeks being hailed as album of the year. This is certainly one of them that's going around being talked about. But yeah, we're gonna listen to this, give our thoughts, our quirky little silly little opinions. All right, and that's gonna be the video. All right. If you are new here, feel free to like and subscribe. All right, if you want to, drop in the comments down below what you want me to hear. All right, whether it's another album from this band or anything else, y'all. Let me know. If you want to see the whole uncut version of this review, it'll be over on Patreon. All right, have a great listen. Have a great night. All right, chill the fuck out. Hopefully chill. Probably not though. All right, all right. I'm gonna let it go into Doberman. You know what I mean? Because it's only a minute. It's a little haunting, yo. I'm assuming it transitions. Yeah, you're not playing about these drums. Oh, that guitar is not. Oh my god, I love where his vocals were at in the mix, the whole song, you know. And for someone that finds that screamo shit to be, kind of hard to digest, it worked really well for me. All right, you weren't playing about those drums. I'll tell you that right now. You weren't playing about those drums. That whole entire song had me captivated from start to finish. He talks about his suffering, talks about his depression in kind of like a curse sort of way, mentioning the Garden of Eden, mentioning him eating his own sort of apple. We're definitely fucked up in the head a little bit. I like that a lot. All right, great track. I don't know what it has to do with the dog though. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's just how a Doberman feels from day in day out. You never know. Next one is Magnolia. All right, by Playboy Cardi. What the fuck? super clean and intense riff throughout the whole song. Very optimistic song. Every step every step is toward the grave. Could it be flesh and blood or all we gave? Sort of saying, was there any meaning to any of the effort that we had in life besides just having blood and flesh? Was that it? As if he's speaking to a family member, saying he kind of inherited them. All the bad shit that's kind of happening in his life was kind of inherited, was kind of taught to him from a young age. So it's kind of like he was almost destined to feel this way, to be this way, to think that way. Definitely a more isolated song compared to a lot of the sounds off of Sunbather. I'm liking that one. Garden Route. I'm liking the start of this. Oh. Oh, I knew something was gonna happen, bro. I love the guitars right here. Oh, that guitar is crazy. The garden route. Wow, it seems like you know that one part of the This Is America video by Donald Glover. You know that shit where it's like he's just like running in the hallway. Seems like he's running from something. I feel like in this song he's just kind of running away from his past a little bit, running away from the truth of who he really is, the reality of who he is as a person. That's what it seems like to me. Because he talks about it in the beginning of the song, how he kind of drowns himself out a little bit, but the reality behind that is he's not really accepting who he truly is. I'm starting to get readjusted back into the screaming here. Love that track. Next one is Heathen. Oh, this is different. I'm loving this right now. I love that contrast between the screaming and his, dumbed down vocal. my gosh. Oh my goodness. Got a lot of lyrical context in the beginning of that song. His heart is closing right when he is trusted. Who is he close with? Feeling he owes his sense of self to lusting days without roses. It's like, is that the sin that's kind of like weighing down on him? Is that what's kind of controlling him, that he's kind of can't really break free? Anyone who really stays in his life, anyone who perseveres through this with him, or whether he perseveres through this pain himself, is that the definition of what true love is right here. I do enjoy the variety of the vocals. I think that that's what made it, you know, hearing him talk sort of normally in the beginning of the song, in the first verse, and then him going into the chorus screaming. I think it just adds a lot more weight. Track 6, Amethyst. I like the start. Okay. Sounds like some Texas Jerusalem crossroad shit. Oh my. What the fuck? Oh my god, bro. That's a contender for the best song off this album. That's a contender for the best song off this album, I'll say that. I love the whole structure of the song. I like how we started off with a nice little chill, mellow vibe. And then we get a nice little spoken word part, which leads us in to the usual sound of the song. But the guitars in this were a lot more impactful to me than usual, especially on the outro there. They hit me like a fucking bus. Once again, he's reflecting on the past, very clearly not being the future. He mentions how him and this person used to live together. Seems like that's not the case anymore. Seems like there's a separation here, which might be causing his loneliness in the first place. I loved you then, I loved you now. All right, so he's not over this individual. They are still very much on his mind all the time. And he's not only heartbroken, but he's lonely, he's fucked up, and he's self-aware about it too, which is the craziest part about it all. Next one is Incidental 2. Start is interesting. A tad little scary. Gotta say the drone aspect is nice. Oh. It seems like the person on the other side almost praises being alone for a little bit, almost praises the hiding, almost praises the running from yourself a little bit. You know, different perspective from him. Um, Eerie song. I did like the drone throughout all of this, throughout the track. I think that's a nice little cut away from the rest of the record into a new kind of idea. I like that. You know, it's so good to be alone, alone with someone else, hiding in the excess. So it's kind of like you're hiding from the truth when you're with someone. It makes it easier when you're not alone to face the thought. You know what I mean? That's why. That's that metal. Oh, I love the rhythm of this song. I jumped a little bit, not gonna lie. Praying to not be alone at this point. I like the mirror that he references, the ugly mirror of truth that one has to look into. The whole record sounds panicked to me. That second half jump scare got me. It got my ass. I'm not gonna lie. I thought he was gonna go into some spoken word shit towards the end of the song. Nah, back to screaming. I like that though. To me, that instrumental and the guitar work on that song, the drums, it just felt like a better version of Magnolia, in my opinion. I don't know. I like that one a lot. 9. Track 9 is Body Behavior. Damn, the person in the beginning is talking to him, kind of offering, a form of lust to him. It really does seem like in the beginning of that song that the devil himself is fucking talking to him. That's what it seems like to me. The guitar work on this entire record has been incredibly consistent so far. The tone of his vocals was kind of shifting during the conversation with the person who he was having with in the beginning. That was interesting.
We looked toward the woman, and my face burned red, blushing. When she asked me the questions, "Are you ever alone?" And the way she said baby. And the way she said baby.
The synths on that song made it feel like a real dream. I can't get over the last few words in that song where he said, "the way that she said baby." When she said that to him, maybe a light beamed in his soul. The loneliness that was once there. Of course, the way he's talking, it seems like obviously this is way in the past. This is just a memory sort of reflecting on one of the best moments that he's had with this person. It's such a crazy track. Wow. I fucking love this bridge. Some peaceful little water towards the end, Yeah, I can see why that's your favorite. That's definitely the peak of the album for me. Definitely the climax. Seems like, he's making so much progress in himself. All of a sudden, this person, this idea of something sort of just takes it away from him. He kind of has to start from scratch over and over again. It's like a never-ending cycle. This album has been jump scaring me. All right, let's close it out, though. The Marvelous Orange. Let's go. This is dream pop, bro. Wow. Oh, that's nuts. That's the perfect outro in my opinion. That's the perfect outro in my opinion. Especially towards the end of the song where you have the normal vocals and regular vocals kind of, merge into each other at the end into that final grand exit. Definitely one of the best outros I've heard this year, to be honest. Most deserving outro this year. Kind of concludes in the fact that, it's a never ending cycle of what he's going through. I love the pre-chorus there. I love the pre-chorus there. That whole part of that song was just dream pop to me. I love when his vocals got in that tone. That's the record. Holy shit. This is incredibly sad and depressing, but the energy of it I'm liking more than Sunbather. I think a lot of his performances are better. I think it's structured kind of better. I'm just enjoying the guitar work and the way that this, is all laid out for me. Every track on here fucking bangs. I got some favorites. For sure. I think Doberman is fantastic. The Garden Route is incredible. All right, that one could be my favorite. Either Garden Route, Amethyst. Body Behavior is also great. Fuck, the way all three incidentals kind of wrapped the album together. I love how eerie this record got with those interludes. The lyrics on Winona were my personal favorite off the record. I feel like he's talking to Satan at times. I feel like he's given the perspective of other people who are in power. And, everything that they got in life doesn't really cure the shit that they got wrong with them. For him, it seems like it's lust. It seems like he's battling lust even when it's, directly in front of him. He's constantly reflecting on the past and how he wasn't necessarily always like this. Talks about that great moment on Incidental 3 where he kind of reflects, and it felt like the happiest moment of his life, the way that she was talking to him. That's not the case anymore. I get the vibe that him screaming is the present self and him talking was the past self, and him kind of reflecting on the past. Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, feel free to like and subscribe. I appreciate you for being here as always, and I'm going to catch y'all.